It's getting down to the wire, and by the end of the episode, we're going to be down to the final 6. Welcome back to Damien After Dark. If you're new here, go ahead, hit that subscribe button right below this video, and make sure you like this video so it gets shared around to the YouTube community. And don't forget, comment below and join the conversation. Let me know what you feel about the episode, as well as my commentary on this review. All right, y'all, we're going to go ahead and do as we always do. Deep dive straight into this episode. I'm going to point out some key facts about the episode. We're going to talk about it. And like I said, comment below because I would love to hear what you guys have to say, okay? First of all, before we get into this, can I just say I love this cast from the beginning, even till now, we're down to the final 6. I really, really love this cast, and I feel like they would have been perfect for Bad Boys Club LA. They would have been perfect for it. Just put them in a house together. We don't even need y'all to produce it. Just put them in the house. They have big personalities. Put cameras up, film for a month, and give us what we want, right? I don't want any of these social media influencers like they did with season 1 of Bad Boys. Give us, like y'all did with this show, all new boys, right? Okay, so let's just go ahead and get right into it. At the beginning, we see a scene with Hercules and Bobby laying in the hammock. And to me, at this point, just watching the show, I feel like either Island Boy or Hercules is going to take this home. Just based off of, you know, the chemistry, they seem to be the two who are the most assertive when it comes to being with Bobby. I feel like they're the ones who are the most affectionate. And, you know, just there's like a physical chemistry there that I don't really see with the other guys. We see Dingaling, Rerun, and Crouton talking in a bedroom about the whole phone challenge. And interestingly enough, I noticed Rerun, Dingaling, and Soul. They were the 3 in the phone challenge who would not open their phones and who did not want Bobby to see what was in their phones. And those are actually the 3 who have OnlyFans. They're the 3 who are like sex workers in a way, like if you want to put it that way. So it just made me think maybe there was content in their phones that they didn't want Bobby to see. Maybe they had filmed a scene a week before they got there and they just didn't want to be called out and looked at like any sort of way. Just a little note that I had made. One thing we learned last week and this week, Big Bird can suck some good dick, right? Bobby even said that again this episode. I saw on the phone where you was sucking some dick, and Big Bird said, "Yeah, I like to suck dick. I like to. Who doesn't love to suck some dick, right?" Now, Dingaling talks about those who have gone home, and he says, you know, everybody that's gone home, they've all been fucking the handler. And speaking of the handler, just a little tea for y'all. I have been talking to Davion, the handler. I like to call him by, I hope it doesn't sound disrespectful calling him the handler. That's why I like to address him as Davion. But I've been talking to him, and I'm thinking about getting him here on the show to do an interview. He said, you know, he may be down for it. So I will keep y'all updated. Hopefully he'll come on here because y'all know we're going to get into some things, and I'm going to ask all the questions that need to be asked. If you have any questions for the handler, put them here in the comments below. And if we do nail this interview and we do get it, I'll try to ask some of the fan questions, okay? Roland Ray comes out where a few of the boys are sitting outside, and he asks, you know, who do y'all think is going home? Rerun says he thinks Crouton is going home because he's a liar, and every time that Crouton lies, his head gets bigger. I'm not gonna lie, I laughed a little bit, but come on, Rerun, why are you always, it feels like you're always picking on Crouton. It does, it really feels like, but, excuse me, at the same time, in the scene before that, you were just outside on the balcony chopping it up and talking to Crouton. So why do you feel like when you get in front of cameras, you have to embarrass him and try to bully him in a way? Unless he's just picking with him and he genuinely likes Crouton, but I don't think that's the case. And How you gonna talk about Crouton's head being big, Rerun, when everything about you is big? Hell, you 6'7", long arms, long legs, long dick. But you talking about this boy having a big head. And maybe maybe I took it a little personal because I got a big head. And I'm like, leave Team Big Head alone, okay? Leave us alone over here. But I was proud of Crouton in that moment. I really was, because he stood his ground. And he stood his ground last time when him and Rerun got into it. But whatever he said to Rerun was corny. Remember last episode when he said, you fell down the stupid tree and hit every branch or something? I'm like, that's so lame. Like, but this time, Miss Crouton got Rerun all the way together, and I guarantee you Rerun will not come after Crouton anymore after this, because Crouton pretty much told him, while you sitting over there with your great teeth, what do you say, high waters, high waist, something, and your concaved ass. When he said concaved ass, I died, okay? Even Island Boy had to dap him up on that one, like, you got him on that one, because it's true. I mean, let's look at Rerun's butt. If y'all seen Shotty ain't got no ass, he's flat. Crouton got a juicy ass. So that's one thing that y'all couldn't take away from Crouton. He said, with your gray teeth and your concaved ass. But in Rerun's defense, what 6'7" man is gonna look right with a big bubble butt? It just don't look right. I'm 6'2". I always wished I had a bigger butt, but it doesn't look right on taller men like us. Y'all know I love a good stand-up. You know, like, there's something back there, but it ain't much. Ooh, 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 ooh. But, you know, little booties matter. Oh, it was stainless steel teeth. That's what he said. I've got that in my notes. Okay, so, like I said, I respect Crouton. And I'll actually like him after this. I love moments like this on shows, these reality shows, when there's just, you know, some fun shade. We're just reading each other back and forth. You know, it don't always have to be about fighting. So that was refreshing to see that scene. Now, Miss Rolling Ray decides to be messy. And he asks Rerun, what do you think of Island Boy? Knowing that Rerun and Island Boy don't like each other. So Ray goes, you know, let me stir this up a little bit. Now, if it's one thing that Miss Island Boy has that Rerun has, or if it's one thing Island Boy has that Rerun doesn't has, is the ability to read. Because Island Boy, he got a mouth on him. And he reads Miss Rerun down as well. Now, right now, Rerun, you're 2-0. Crouton got your ass, and Island Boy got your ass. And when Island Boy gets to going, he don't stop. When I Google you, you've been fucking and you've been sucking on all these porn pages on OnlyFans. I mean, he was just going in. And I'm like, okay. And he says, you've been fucking and sucking all these different people, and you're still not verified. And I still don't know who you are. People still don't know who the fuck you are. And I'm like, ooh, he got a point. Like, Rerun, you know, he was fucking with Jeffree Star, and then him and Bobby Lights was fucking around, and you can tell Rerun was just trying to get his name in the headlines, and it worked. He got his 5 minutes of fame, but, I mean, other than that, that sizzled away. But now he's back on Bobby's show. So Ray's wheelchair broke, and he tells Bobby that he won't be making it to the challenge because he's having a new wheelchair being brought into him. So Bobby tells him, okay, you know, cool, whatever, we're doing a challenge at the boxing ring. So he's going to take all the boys to this boxing ring, and they're going to box their way into his heart, I guess. I'm not really a fan of this challenge. Like, yay, fighting, what more can we want? But I just feel like it's not really a fair challenge, because not everybody is a fighter. It's kind of like when you put all the boys in the pool. Not everybody can swim. Like, let's do something that could be that's equal, that everybody can do and have a fair shot at doing. Anyway, you get a little bit more creative with these challenges too. Like, somebody's just, like, I feel like Bobby's just coming up with these challenges. It's not even production at this point. I feel like Bobby's just like, Let's take him to a boxing ring. It's just, I don't know. Bobby and Rerun meet each other in the hallway back in the house, and Rerun decides to throw Gohard all the way up under the bus. Rerun looks at this time. He's like, you know, this is the time that I can advance myself a little bit in this competition. And he decides to tell Bobby that, you know, I've been sleeping in Gohard's room. Gohard left a couple hours ago and he went to hang out with Savage. Now, keep in mind, Savage got evicted and had to go home last week. But I guess he stayed in Miami. And you got to remember, these episodes are filmed. Whenever you're watching episode, that's 1 day in the house. So they're on like day 6 or 7. Savage just went home yesterday, so he's still in Miami. Gohard decides to go and hang out with Savage when cameras aren't rolling, right? And this is what I'm talking about. If we had some footage of what went on behind the scenes when like, that would be a whole other show, because these boys are doing the most when the cameras are not around and when they're outside of the house, right? So Rerun decides to tell him, you know, he was gone, so I laid in his bed. I decided to lay in his bed and take a nap. Rerun says, you know, when he woke up, Gohard was laying in the bed next to him. And then he says Gohard kept saying to him, or he says that Gohard has asked him in 2 separate occasions now, why is your dick hard? Why is your dick hard? Because if you notice, if you ever pay attention, Rerun's he's always wearing these cotton shorts or sweatpants or something, so his dick print is always showing, right? And it looks like it's hard. So he tries to make it out to Bobby like Gohard is looking at his rock hard dick and asking about it. Bobby was obviously not happy about this, and he says that he heard that Gohard and Savage was actually in a relationship. So hearing that Gohard and Savage were hanging out after he'd been evicted set a light bulb off in Bobby's head, because he had heard that they were dating. So things are not looking too good for Gohard at this moment. Of course, Rerun was being messy, but at the same time, this is also going to increase his chances of winning the competition, right? So let's see. Okay. If this is true about Gohard, Gohard is going hard in the motherfucking paint. Okay. So Bobby tells Rerun, go get the boys, gather them all together, and we're going to go do the challenge, right? But before they go do the challenge, Bobby confronts Gohard about the information that he heard. And Gohard is immediately kind of defensive, but I'm not gonna lie. Had I done that, or even if I hadn't done it, I would be defensive. Like, what the fuck? Bobby's like, you know, why have you been doing X, Y, and Z? And why did you say that? Why did you ask Rerun if his dick was hard? And, you know, Gohard kind of defends the situation, and he says, I wasn't saying, oh, your dick's hard. I was asking him, why is your dick hard? Now, at first, I wanted to give Gohard the benefit of the doubt, but when he was in his confessionals and he told the whole story, when he told his side of the story, I was kind of like, because Gohard says, you know, I come home, Rerun's in my bed, so I lay down in the bed next to him, and I wake up and his dick's hard. Now, hold on, Gohard. If you come home and Rerun's in your bed, you're on a dating competition show. You should have A, either said, wake the fuck up and get out of my bed, or B, go lay on the couch or something, because you know if Bobby would have walked in and caught y'all laying in the bed together, it wasn't going to be a good look. Now, we've already got the text that he sent to Davion. Y'all remember on the phone challenge, they found text messages from Gohard talking to Davion saying, hit me up when you get back home. I gave him the benefit of the doubt on that one. Now, Gohard, you allegedly talking about, why is your dick hard? Why is your dick hard? I told y'all at the beginning of this season, and I'll say it again for the third time because I've said it again midway through this season. You cannot put a bunch of men in a house together and expect them not to fuck or suck or do something. I said that. I've said it. I've said it. Gay or straight men, I don't give a fuck. They gonna mess around and do something because men are just wired that way. Hypersexual. We just hypersexual human beings, okay? So I knew this was gonna happen. And at the end of the day, nobody's here to really fight for Bobby Lights. Let's be real. We're all here for clout. We're all here for 5 minutes of fame. We're all here for a check. We're all here for a platform. And I don't blame none of them. But let's be fucking real about the situation, okay? So Bobby is not really feeling Gohard at this moment. And in Bobby's defense, Gohard was being a little snappy and rolling his neck. And, well, why was his dick hard? Why was he in my bed? Which he had good points. You shouldn't have been in Gohard's bed. You shouldn't have been in Gohard's bed, Rerun. Like, when I look at the situation, I really lean more towards Gohard's side because that feels like a setup. It feels like Rerun was trying to set him up using his big dick. Like, he probably knew these boys was thirsty. He probably knew these boys were horny. He's like, you know what? Let me trap him a little bit. So too many people have been eliminated for y'all to be sharing beds. There's plenty of beds in this house, okay? And what did I tell y'all? Like, oh no, I already told y'all that, sorry. So yeah, I just feel like Rerun was either being messy or strategic. It's actually smart in Rerun's defense. He's actually being smart trying to weed these boys out. Bobby also confronts Gohard on being in a relationship with Savage. Gohard denies it, but Bobby says, I saw the messages. So I was like, oh shit. Oh shit, like there's messages between these two. It's getting messy. Bobby goes down the steps and goes off on Gohard about his alleged hoe behavior and him twisting his neck. I mean, he goes in on Gohard, telling him he's sick of the bullshit. Don't be twisting your neck and looking at me with no cocky ass attitude. You know what? If you want to, get the fuck out of my house right now. And Gohard says, no, you ain't got to tell me twice. I'm leaving right now. I packed my bags this morning. Gohard goes upstairs. And Bobby's like, I don't give a fuck. Get the fuck out. And I'm just like, oh, shit. No, I hope this is not really happening because I like Gohard. I don't want him to go home. Bobby says, this is my dating show. Why are they all trying to date one another? Like I said earlier, it's a dating show. No one is here for love. Let's be real. Island Boy and Gohard are actually good friends in the house. So Island Boy tells Bobby, you know what? Let me go talk to Gohard. Let me try to talk him down, calm him down. Bobby tells him to go do it. Island Boy goes and talks to Gohard, tells him, look, let's not forget what you're here for. You're here for Bobby. Don't let any of this shit blindside you or not blindside you. Don't let any of this shit get you off track. It seems like Gohard is going to stay. He tells Gohard, show Bobby that this stuff isn't true, And then we see all the boys get on the bus and go to the boxing ring challenge. So I am guessing that Gohard decides to stay. He had to think about it. Do I really want to go back to my normal life back in Idaho or Massachusetts or wherever I'm from, where I'm working a 9-to-5 job? Or do I want to stay here in Miami where I'm filming a TV show around all these hot boys and I get to smoke weed every day? I know what I'm choosing, right? Okay, let's see, where are we at? Sorry, y'all, I got so many notes here. Okay, can I just say that Dingaling is my favorite? Like, he really is my favorite. Not only is he funny, but he's hot. He's got a big dick. He's got a big heart. He's just goofy. He doesn't take himself too serious. Like, if I was on that show, that's who I'd be hanging out with. We'd be smoking blunts every day, chilling, just having a good fucking time. And so they get there to the boxing ring, and I'm like Trax. I'm like Trax, y'all. Like, I will protect myself if I have to. I'm not no bitch. You're not gonna just put your hands on me. But I don't want to box. I don't want to fight. Why is this a challenge? Like, I just don't want to. I know why Bobby did it. He wants to see which guy's masculine and tough enough and is going to whoop ass for him. But, I don't know. But I just don't see the joy in what people get out of boxing. What do y'all get out of whooping each other's ass? Like, I don't know. It's not for me. It just doesn't sound fun to me. Bobby says he has a friend coming to help judge this boxing challenge, celebrity guest, and Safari from Love and Hip Hop comes in. We know him as Nicki Minaj's ex-boyfriend. He comes in to help judge the challenge. And first up during the challenge, they put Crouton and Trax up against one another. And I'm shocked. I was really shocked because I was not expecting Crouton to scare Trax out the ring. Like, Crouton lands a few hits and Trax falls to the ground and he gets up and he's like, I'm not doing this, I'm not doing this. And he gets out of the ring. And I'm with Bobby on this one, like, what are you doing, homie? Like, you could have at least put some effort into it, Trax. And I love you, Ike. Y'all know his real name's Ike. I love you, Ike, but you could have put a little bit more effort into it. Like, I'm not a fighter either, but I'm going to at least go in there and, throw a few blows, duck a little bit, and we're going to get out the ring. But Trax, like, ran. And then you fighting Crouton, of all people. Was you that scared of Crouton? Hey, so it made Trax look a little pussy-ish, if you know what I mean. Next up, they put Dingaling versus Big Burr. And some would think automatically that Big Burr would knock Dingaling right out. But this was another fight that I was shocked by because Dingaling wasn't playing. He went in there, he was swinging, he was ducking and dodging hits. Like, I was like, and I was laughing at the same time because Big Burr has his helmet on and he's like, and he kind of ran out of the ring too. When Dingaling gave a few swings, Big Bird said, I'm out. I'm like, what? I'm like, for the first time, I'm agreeing with Bobby. I'm like, what is going on with these boys? Bobby keeps saying, these boys can't handle it. What's wrong with them? But at the same time, I'm like, okay, Bobby, let's see you and Safari get in the ring. See how quick Bobby Lights runs out that motherfucking boxing ring. Put him and Safari in the ring. Let's see how quick he jumps out. Crouton versus Dingaling. They put them up next to one another. And we're not even 5 seconds in. Dingaling swings a few times. And Crouton's like, oh, I dislocated my shoulder. And I wasn't believing it. But Safari apparently saw it. Apparently they saw his shoulder be dislocated. And I'm like, holy shit, what? I didn't see it. Bobby apparently kind of saw it too. And Crouton gets out of the ring. And I'm like, well, what happened? Did he go to the hospital? Apparently later, Crouton says he popped his shoulder back into place. I'm like, I don't know if I believe it. I really feel like when Dingaling threw them first couple punches at Crouton, he was probably like, oh shit, like, I don't want to get my ass beat. No, I can't do this. Maybe he really did dislocate his shoulder, but I don't know. I don't know. Do y'all think he really dislocated his shoulder? Or is that just me? Comment below. I want to hear what y'all have to say about that. Let me know. So they bring up Island Boy and Hercules next. And Island Boy was scared to fight Hercules at first. I'm like, oh, not the mouth of the South. Not Big Mouth over here who talks all this cash money shit. You ain't afraid of Hercules, are you? So they fight. And kind of like nobody really gets any licks in. It was actually more funny than anything, especially when Island Boy jumps in the air and punches. Did y'all see that? I was like, what? And then they put Rerun and Gohard up against one another. They start fighting. And, they've already got tension between one another because Rerun just ratted Gohard out about the whole dick hard comment. So putting them up against one another, I think, was strategic. But at the same time, it wasn't a good idea because they've got all this pent up anger. And when Gohard and Rerun start fighting, they start fighting. I mean, it looked like two motherfuckers going at it that were pissed at one another. And once their 30 seconds is up, we see Gohard take his helmet off. He's pissed. He pulls his hair up in a bun. He gets out of the ring. Like, he's just really upset. And even Bobby and them were like, what's wrong with you? Like you didn't get your ass whooped or anything. Why are you mad? Actually, Bobby wanted the fight to continue on. He keeps saying 30 more seconds, 30 more seconds. I think they should have stopped where it was. Even though the fight was getting really good, I felt like they were about to really beat one another's ass. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it was a pretty even fight with an equal amount of licks. And then they put Island Boy and Rerun up next to one another for them to start fighting next. And they just need to stop fighting and get to fucking already, because Island Boy and Rerun, I feel like they got some kind of sexual tension towards one another. They're jealous of one another because they're both tall. They're both the alpha males. So, they're going at one another. But I think secretly they want to clap each other's cheeks. That's just my opinion. So this challenge really didn't do anything but get the boys riled up. I think Safari showed up. He got that check. He bounced. And, the challenge is over. The boys go home, and it's time for elimination. And tonight, Bobby is sending 2 boys home. And he says, you know what? Today is all about my celebrity friends, so I'm bringing out another celebrity judge to help me choose who to go home. And he brings out none other than Miss Natalie Nunn, because we know Natalie is not going to miss an opportunity, right? So Natalie's there. She shows up. She's going to help him choose who to send home for elimination. Rerun comes up first. Natalie says Rerun should stay. He should get a chain because he fought 2 people for Bobby. So Rerun gets his chain and he gets to stay. And then then they bring up Dingaling next. And Natalie Nunn gonna say, why do they call you, what did she say? Why do they call him Dingaling? Can I see? Now, Natalie, you got a whole fucking husband at home. And you asking to see this man's dick. Of course, Dingaling does what Dingaling does, and he pulls his dick out and he swings it. And I'm like, Natalie, you got me thinking that these rumors are true about you, because Natalie takes a chain and she puts it on Rerun's dick. And I'm like, I have seen it all. I have seen it all. This married woman just asked another man to see his dick and then proceeds to hang something on the dick. If I was my wife, I would be like, you hoe ass bitch, if you don't get home right now and put your hands on my dick instead of these motherfuckers on TV, we're going to get divorced in 2.5 seconds. Now I start to think that the rumors about Natalie are true, where she allegedly goes to Dubai and sells pussy. Y'all know we've talked about that here before. So they're upset. They're upset at, who are we upset at? Hold on, guys. Okay, so after Dingaling gets his chain, they call Trax up next. And, Bobby's a little disappointed in Trax because he didn't fight for him. He gave up and, got out of the ring. And they're saying these things like, oh, Bobby's famous. If he's out and a fan tries to run up on him, they want to know that you're going to fight for him and all this stuff like that. And look, I really feel like if push came to shove and Bobby needed protected, or Track's boyfriend, whoever he's dating, needed protected, I think he would jump in and fight if he had to. I just don't think he's a fighter just because you tell him to fight. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think it was a good enough reason to send him home because it ended up shocking me. Because what did he say? At one point, Bobby says, I just want you to know that it's time for you to go. And I'm like, oh shit, I wasn't expecting that because Bobby says, Trax, just sing for me. Y'all know how he's done all season. Every time Trax almost goes home or he comes up to get his chain, Bobby says, sing for me. So he tells him to sing. Trax starts singing. Natalie's like, damn, he's got a beautiful voice. And then Bobby breaks out in song. I just want you to know it's time for you to go home. I'm like, oh shit. He's sending him home. Like, I was not expecting that. And Bobby has a really nice voice. Did y'all notice that? I was not expecting Bobby Lice to be able to sing like he did. But those two little bars that he did, or one bar or whatever, I was like, damn, Bobby, you can sing. So he ends up sending Trax home. But I agree with Trax. Trax said, I'm the only one here who really has a spotless record. I haven't been texting other dudes in this house. I haven't been making out with other dudes in this house. I haven't been fucking and sucking. I'm the only one who's been genuine. He brought Bobby flowers when he came there. He sings to him. Like, I feel like he really should have kept Trax and gave him a chance. But, you know, he didn't. And then Island Boy gets his chain, of course, because we know Island Boy's going to be there for the final two. I think either Island Boy, like I said at the beginning, Island Boy or Hercules is probably going to win this, in my opinion. Island Boy gets his chain, Hercules gets his chain, and then it's Crouton, Big Bird, and Gohard that are left who have not got a chain yet. And I just know that Gohard is going home after asking Rerun why his dick was hard, after hanging out with Savage outside of the house and texting him and apparently dating him, after getting cocky with Bobby and they got into their fight. I just knew he was going to go home, right? Bobby asked Crouton why he should stay. And Crouton says, because I dislocated my shoulder and I have 2 cracked ribs. And I'm like, boy, I'm starting to believe Rerun. Rerun said he lies so much, and every time he lies, his head gets big. Now I'm starting to believe you lying, because I know good and goddamn well you ain't dislocated your shoulder and cracked 2 ribs. Because if you did, your ass would be in Miami hospital, or you would be on bed rest. There is no way that you just walking around with 2 cracked ribs and a dislocated shoulder that you pop back into place. I really feel like Crouton was lying and exaggerating. I really do. I really do. Y'all please let me know in the comments how you feel about the Crouton situation. Do y'all feel like he really dislocated his shoulder? And do you think he really cracked 2 ribs? I just ain't buying that shit for not even a hot minute. Bobby ends up choosing Gohard to stay over Big Bird. And like I said, I was a little shocked considering the drama that Gohard got himself in. But ultimately, I think what it came down to is that Bobby is not going to pick a heavy set man. Look, Big Bird he's a bigger guy. He's heavier set. And I just don't see, Bobby is too shallow to date a man like that. Let's just be real. I think he even said on the show, I see us being more like friends. And I do too. I don't see them being together. Bobby has a type. He likes the trades. He likes the masculine looking men, the straight looking men. That's his type. And I just didn't see Big Bird lasting. I saw him bringing him along long enough just to let him go when the time was right. So, and Gohard's a little bit cuter, right? So he's going to choose the cuter one. Bobby could have 2 dudes up here. One could be a dog who cheats and is the worst kind of man. But as long as he's cuter than this guy, Bobby's going to choose the dog every time. He just is. He just is. And we're down to our final 6. We got Hercules. We've got Gohard. We've got Dingaling, Island Boy, Crouton and Rerun. Okay, that's the end of the episode. I need to hear from y'all. I would love to hear what y'all have to think or what y'all have to say about this episode. What do you think of our final six? And who do you think is going to end up winning the competition and stealing Bobby's heart away? I want to hear what y'all have to say. Also, like I said, do you think that Crouton broke ribs and dislocated his shoulder during that boxing match? Also, what do you think about Gohard? Do you think Gohard's intentions when it came to Rerun and asking if his dick was hard, do you think his intentions were pure? Was he genuinely asking why his dick was hard? Or was he asking because he was wanting that dick? I would love to hear what y'all have to say about that. Also, how do you feel about Trax going home and Big Burr? Do you think Bobby made the right decision by sending Trax and Big Burr home? I want to hear all your comments. Y'all know I love when y'all join the conversation and talk to me. I love you guys so much. Look, we'll see you back next week for the episode 7 or 8 review. I'm not sure what episode we're on, but we'll be back for that review. Also, if you haven't already, check out my Baddies Reunion Part 1 and 2 reviews. I reviewed the Baddies Reunion if you haven't checked that out already. Also, my podcast, Damien After Dark, Season 4 is going to be airing this month in October. I'm really excited for that. When it starts airing, I will put the details in the comments. And if you want to follow me on social media, follow me on Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and Twitter at Damien Gentry. I will also put that in the description below. I love you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you next week on Damien After Dark. See ya.